The 9th and the 10th games of the Carlsen-Caruana match were drawn again. It was not just playing dry draws, but defense proved to be stronger than attack one more time. Moreover, defense was so precise that chess experts has compared it to the engine's play, especially from the challenger's side, who has found himself in that predicament twice. Good evening, dear chess friends. My name is Artem Smirnov, and today I'll observe two games from the Carlsen-Caruana match. In the 9th round, Carlsen was white. He played c4 on the first move, e5, the English opening, bishop g2, bishop c5, d3 rookate, and bishop g5. Earlier, Magnus has tried bishop d2 against Fabiano, but here black is almost equal, and Fabiano had no problems in that game. Bishop g5, knight c3, b takes c3, f6, bishop c1, bishop e6 is a logical move, bishop b2, bishop b6. Black is preparing to the white's move d4. White plays d4 anyway. Bishop d5 is a good move, taking the e4 square under control. Queen c2. Now white is threatening to play e4. E takes d4. A good alternative could be e4 here. Knight h4, knight a5, blocking the c4 square. And finally, this position is about equality. In the game, Fabi took the pawn, e takes d4, c takes d4, bishop e4. Knight b4 is an alternative here, queen a4, c5, and this position looks slightly better for white, but in general it's almost drawish. After bishop e4, queen b3 check, bishop d5, queen d1. White has a slightly more pleasant position, and bishop f3 played in the game looks like an inaccuracy, because white gets advantage. Queen d6 was possible, e3, knight a5, and here white controls the center. The bishop on b6 is stupid, but the engines like black's position, evaluating this like even. After bishop f3, queen b3 check, bishop takes f3, knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes e3, queen e5, bishop b7. The material is equal, and the opposite colored bishops give drawish chances, queen e7, h4, but the position in general is better for white, because white has a safer king, much more safer king, and white controls the white squares. The bishop on b6 is still stupid, and the c7 pawn is going nowhere. White tries to get more space on the king side, and the idea is to play h5 and then attack the h7 pawn. That's why black have to play g6, h5. h5 is not the best option here, because black just takes the h pawn. It would be better for Magnus to play bishop c6 and try to get something here. White is better here, but of course it's hard to win this position. After king g2, h5, white is also better here in this line, but again there is no direct plan. After h5, black takes the pawn, and this is the best defense. Queen c4. In case of king g2, and idea is to play rook h1, winning the h pawn, black plays h4 and opens the g file. And now the white's king is unsafe and gets under attack. Black is not worse here. Queen c4, f5. Again, f5 is the best option here. The idea is to play h4, and if black plays h4 now, then white takes the pawn with the queen. But after f5, bishop f3, h4, the position is equal here, because the g file is open, the white's king is unsafe, and black has counterplay. It was possible to agree to a draw here and stop playing, but Fabiano was in time trouble. That's the reason Magnus tried to put some kind of pressure here. a4. After a4, Caruana could have taken the pawn, and white has a lot of checks here, but it gives nothing. In the game it was queen f6. Still the position is totally drawish. White has some kind of moral advantage, because the a6 pawn is dangerous, and black has to be careful. For example, here bishop e3 is a very precise move, but of course we can't expect from Fabiano move like bishop f2 losing immediately, because here white takes the c7 pawn, plays king b7, then a7, winning the bishop, and with the f4 pawn alive, white is winning here. King e7 leads to a draw too, because white wins the bishop, but the c3 pawn deflects the white bishop, and black grabs the f4 pawn. Okay, it was bishop e3 in the game, king b7, bishop b6, and draw here. Let's go to the 10th game. Fabiano was white here, e4, c5, the Sveshnikov variation again, knight d5. Well, bishop g5 is the main line here, and it would be interesting to look at this line, but again Fabiano decided to try knight d5 line. b4. Earlier Caruana opted for bishop d2, and he got better position here after f4, g5, c4, and bishop c3. White is obviously better here, but there are no doubts that Magnus Carlsen has prepared an improvement somewhere from the 12th move. b4, a6, a5, a very logical play from the champion, who destroys the white's pawn structure. 5. As usual, black controls the central squares and has attacking prospects on the king side. White gets control over the b6 square, and white's going to get initiative on the queen side. Rook a3. My engine recommends bishop c7 here, and after rook f6, bishop h5, queen e2. White's position here is slightly better. Queen g6 is a more logical move, rook e1, and black has no direct play. Maybe white is still slightly better here. After rook a3, Carlsen played queen g6 and e4. Again, very logical play and strong play. After king h1, b5 looks like a splendid idea from the champion. Knight b6. The idea is that after a takes b6, black exchanges the rooks and plays f3, getting strong initiative on the king side. And in this line, the material is equal. White has 3 pawns versus the black bishop, but black blockades the white pawns and attacks the pawn on f2, and also the white's king is unsafe here. That's why black has advantage here. In the game it was knight b6, takes, queen g5. Well, queen g5 is mistaken here. It's obviously not the best option. After bishop d7, the position would be equal. In this case, black has compensation for the pawn. But after queen g5, Caruana played g3, and g3 is also not the best idea here. Of course, it's easier for the engines to take a pawn and let black attack. After bishop b5, rook f6, rook e1, rook g6, bishop f1, white defends the g2 square, and white is a pawn up. The a5 pawn is very strong here, and white is better. If black plays bishop d8 here, then white preserves the b6 pawn, and again white has advantage. But I think the line with bishop b5, rook f6 looked scary for Fabiano, and he decided to play g3. After this move, black has initiative. b3 before attacking the rook, bishop h3, attacking the rook, f3, takes, queen d5, rook b4, queen e6. Seems that black's initiative is very annoying here for white. White has to be careful with the king, with the first rank, with the h3 square, and also black has advantage in the center. But Fabiano defends very carefully, and he finds all the best moves in this position. Rook b5, the idea is to stop the d pawn, because if black plays d5, now white has queen d1 attacking the pawn on d5, and it's very uncomfortable for black to defend the pawn. Bishop d8, queen e1, takes, rook b8, queen e3, again the best option, rook d1, queen e2. In this position, Caruana played rook e1, and this move is good. According to the engine, it was possible to play rook bb1, but in that case, black takes the a3 pawn, and it looks scary for a human being to defend such a position with white. But the engine has no fear. And finally, this position is drawish. Takes, d5, it was played in the game. Again, it seems that this position could be unpleasant for white because of the pawn structure. But there is an idea to play c4 somewhere for white and to destroy the black's pawn center. That's why white gets counterplay. h4, again a very good move, getting more space for the king, and now black has no more checkmating ideas on the first rank. Rook a6, the position is drawish. For example, if black plays g6 and wins the g4 pawn, white has counterplay attacking the d5 pawn, and white takes the d5 pawn. The material is equal, the position is drawish. But Carlsen played king d4. This move is erroneous. White plays c4, destroying the black's pawn structure, and after d takes c4, rook takes, white wins the e4 pawn first, and then white grabs the f3 pawn. King f7, rook f5. Nevertheless, this position is drawish because, as you know, in the rook endgame it's impossible to win this endgame with 3 pawns versus 2. In the game it was rook f5. Rook f4 could be more challenging for black here, because white has some kind of chances in this position to win. For example, after rook f6, white takes the rook, and this is very unpleasant for black to defend the position with destroyed pawns, but still it should be drawish. Instead of rook f6, rook b8 looks like a more comfortable way to defend, and white can't win here. In the game it was played rook f5, check, takes, king f3, king f7, king g3. And here Fabiano decided not to torment each other and agree to a draw here. It's a rather rational idea and a very tenant decision to my mind. Thank you, goodbye.